Hi, I'm Chris Ryan, down at the Belfry in the Telemair Performance Centre, and we are going to talk about the driver in this video, and we're going to go through a really pretty simple drill that you can do, which is going to help you to hit up on that driver, and that's going to hopefully give you a little bit more distance. Just before we get into the video, down in the corner of the screen you should have the details for my Facebook, my Twitter and my Instagram. Please make sure you also go ahead and follow me on those. As I say, the details down in the corner. It's a good way for us to connect if you've got any suggestions on videos that you would like me to film. Right, so we are talking about the driver, we're talking about the attack angle, and we're going to go through a drill which is going to help you increase the attack angle and hit a little bit more up on the driver. So why do we want to do this? Well, being able to use launch monitors such as TrackMan and Flight Scope and that kind of thing, we know that by hitting up on the driver, or hitting up on the ball I should say, it enables us to achieve a greater distance. If we are hitting down on the driver, which many golfers unfortunately do, you are costing distance. So it's really something we would like to change, and it's really something we would like to work towards improving. So very, very simply, if we just look at attack angle, at any point in your golf swing, there is a low point, which is where the club is at its lowest point. If we are hitting the ball after the low point, it means the club is working away from the ground, and if we're hitting the ball before the low point, it's working towards the ground. So with our iron shots and basically every club that we hit off the ground, we would like to hit that golf ball with a slightly descending blow where the club is travelling towards the ground. With the driver, however, it needs to be different, and we need to try and hit that ball on the upswing. And as I say, that's going to give us more distance. So the idea today is to try and go through something which is pretty simple for you to do. You don't need any training aids, you don't need any tools or anything like that. You just need yourself, a practice area, some golf balls, and obviously your driver. So I'm going to take my starting position. And from this starting position, I just want to visualise an area on the mat that's probably just over a foot behind the golf ball, and it's probably about 3 to 4 inches inside my ball to target line. So you can see that on the mat there. That's an area just about there. Now, what I want to try and do is make some swings relatively slowly where I feel like the sole of my golf club, so the bottom, and the reason I say the bottom is that's quite important, we'll come to that in a minute why it's important, but the sole of my golf club, I want to feel like the sole of my golf club makes contact with the mat about there and then bounces up over the golf ball. Now, hopefully this will be a bit clearer in a moment when we come to do it. So let me go ahead and do that for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my setup, and I'm just going to go and make some relatively slow swings, but feel like I get that club making contact with the mat and then just bouncing up over the golf ball. So what's that doing for me? Well, it's basically shallowing out my attack, and it's getting me to feel like I hit a little bit more up on the golf ball. The added benefit to this is it's also quite a good way to try and move the club path a little bit more to the right. If we move the club path a little bit more to the right, if you're a slicer of the golf ball or a fader of the golf ball, that's going to help neutralise those shot shapes. It's also going to help you work towards a more right to left ball flight or a draw. So very, very strong pattern amongst amateur golfers is to swing the golf club to the left and down. So the two sort of go hand in hand. Anybody who swings to the left, there's a very good chance they're also swinging down. So if we can start to swing the club a little bit more on the way up, we can also move the club path a little bit more out to the right, and that's quite good. So why did I say the sole of the club? Well, the other part of the golf club we could use would be the leading edge. So what we don't want to do is feel that we're making contact with the mat with the leading edge. That's a much steeper approach. So that's the club working quite aggressively down towards the ground. We don't want to do that. And if you do that, you'll feel that there's a lot more resistance from the mat. We want to make sure that it's the sole of the golf club, and that's going to help us get that feeling of just bouncing that club up over the golf ball, and that's going to shallow our swing out. Once we've done a couple of those, we can go ahead and take that feeling straight into a golf swing and try and feel like I hit this ball a little bit more on the upswing. And I've been pretty happy with that. Slightly overshaped it, it's finished a little bit left to target, but that was a pretty good shot. So let me just go through and do that again for you. And the way I'm doing it here would be the way I would advise you to do it during practice. You take a setup and then you just make a couple of really quite slow swings, just trying to get that feeling of shallowing that golf club out, and then once you've done about 3, you can then just go ahead and hit it. And it's certainly a really, really good way to get the right feelings, to start hitting a little bit more up on the ball. and getting yourself some more distance. Try not to overcomplicate what you're doing. This is one of those sort of task-led drills that I call it. We're setting a task and we're trying to do it. We don't really want to get too bogged down with, am I tilting, am I rotating, am I this, am I that? Try not to worry too much. Just try and think about the task, try and create the move that would enable you to achieve that task, and then we're hopefully going to get the club into the right position, the body into the right position as a result, but without having to think too technically about that. Then hit the shot and hopefully you'll see some more distance, potentially a better ball flight as well with a little bit lower spin, and it's all going to add to longer drives, shorter irons, shorter putts, and lower scores. So hopefully that helps. Again, hopefully it's something practically you can take straight to the range and practice. Make sure you're only doing it with a 3-wood, because all the other clubs in the bag, in an ideal world, will be hitting slightly down. So this is more specifically for the driver, so make sure you only practice it with that. Right, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully that helped. Like button down there, comments box, and a subscription link. So please make sure you do what you need to do down there. Comment, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And hopefully we'll see you again next time.